The understanding is that in your scoping process that you're documenting both that you appreciate the risks that are out there and that you've properly scoped out, your whether it's your transaction testing or the areas that you're going to be focusing on. Make sure you're documenting that on the front end because your examiners will want to see that you've done that. Also, looking at when you're scoping your review, you want to get an understanding of what types of transactions is in the volume of transactions that are involved. Does your financial institution do a lot of international wires, or is there a lot of ACH activity, or is there a certain type of lending that they're involved in? Really, to get it documented out so that you can say, yes, we looked at the types of transactions that are there, and we really understand what kind of transaction testing we should be implementing. Evaluating that, scoping it, and documenting your conclusions. Also, as part of the scoping process, you can help be on the lookout for blind spots. If the financial institution isn't really appreciating a certain area of risk, that might be something that you take a little more time to carve out and do a deeper dive in that area. Remember, this is supposed to be a risk-based process. And really, the first step is to take a look at the risk assessment. Have they identified, as a financial institution, all of the appropriate areas of risk? Are there any blind spots that that it looks like they haven't fully assessed? That might be something that you ask additional questions about or dig into a little deeper. Um, if there are higher risk customers that it doesn't look like they're fully appreciating, that's something you can really nail down in that scoping process. Do they have independent testing in place already? So maybe you're involved in in that internal testing process, but as part of your independent test, you can actually leverage the testing that they already have in place. If they are all over a certain topic, yes, you don't want to just ignore it, but you may make the decision, look, they're testing this quite a bit. It doesn't, I can see their testing reports. So maybe I'm not going to spend as much time over there. I'm going to spend more of my time looking into an area that they might not be testing as effectively. So, and all of that can be part of your scoping analysis. Taking a look at previous exams is also something you can look at in that scoping process to see, do they have any particular problems that were in place? Are there areas that we should be paying special attention to? And then I always read through the management's responses to previous findings. Have they addressed certain issues that were brought up in the past fully? And if you can, verify that, great. Then let's go through and double check to see if those problems were really fixed. Or if the management determined that no action was necessary, then maybe that might be something that you go and double check for them. And then also you want to take a look at their suspicious activity reports. What are the volume of SARs that they file, because that could dictate how many you want to pull and look at, but also the characteristics of the types of SARs that they file. So if they have frequent suspicious activity or frequent types of SARs, maybe you want to do a deeper dive, or maybe they have certain SARs that are just reoccurring SARs, or they have a large volume of SARs that are related to, maybe they're marijuana limited SARs or something along those lines, where they're just being updated over time. But yes, you'll want to look into it to see if there are any red flags that are being missed, but you may not be pulling a sample out of that pool because it looks like they're, for the most part, just something that is happening on an ongoing basis. So you have a lot of flexibility in this scoping side, but really what my recommendation is to document why you are focusing in certain areas.